All right, good evening. Happy 4th of July.
Hello.
Independence Day. We have a pursuit for you right
Good
now.
early morning on a midnight.
Streets of North Hollywood. So we're in LAPD's jurisdiction. However,
It is
this
happy
involves
4th
little
of
San
July,
Fernando PD,
late 4th
the
of July.
second
It is
smallest city
happy
in
late
LA
4th of
County.
July.
They are the ones who have
We
been
had
pursuing this
some
vehicle. You see their
fireworks.
cruiser. They are right behind
Hope
this.
you have a good time
We're
on a 4th of
told
July
that
today
they did
and
not
tonight as
want
well.
LAPD's help on the ground.
So
However,
there's a
they do
police
have their
pursuit that's
right
going
now.
on. Let's watch
So
the police
LAPD
video.
lending one of their many
In the meantime, at
helicopters
least,
overhead. Oh, look at this. Whoa. A truck
there's
in
a
the way
bigger
here, but he
truck.
goes over to the wrong side of the road to get away. This truck that's just trying to back in right there. Boy, that
They
was
were
kind of a
trying to
close call. So we're in kind of this big
in that
warehouse district here as
suspect,
we're
or
northbound
he's trying to
on
avoid getting
Tahunga. So
T-boned.
San Fernando, well to the
Now
north of
he
here, we
is
came
on.
down
He's
near
going
Burbank
across the
Airport
train tracks.
and then kind of
And
circled
now
around
he's
there,
on
North
Tahunga
Hollywood area.
Avenue
Now
and
we
German
are
Way in
trending
Sun
back
Valley.
towards the San Fernando
And he's
area
heading
here,
back towards the San
northbound on
Fernando
Tahunga.
area.
You'll
Where
see what
they
the next
came
move
down
is going to
near
do. Still
the
trying to
Burbank
confirm the
Airport,
want
and
on
they
this one. There has been some speculation that it was a stolen vehicle that has not been confirmed, though, by the authorities on this one. But you can see, sometimes when we deal with these smaller agencies, it's kind of hard to know what their protocols are. They tend to be on the more aggressive side. And I actually cannot remember the last time I ever covered a pursuit involving San Fernando PD. They only have a couple of cruisers for the entire city as it is. So as I widen out, you can see there you have 3 cruisers on this one right now. That's a significant chunk of their entire police force. Again, San Fernando, really tiny city, second smallest in LA County, only behind Hawaiian Gardens. As we come up here, we'll see if they're interested in doing a pit maneuver. You can see the push bar on that vehicle right there. Lets me know that this vehicle is capable. Of course, it's not clear if the officer is pit certified or not. Again, we're dealing with a smaller agency here with encrypted radio frequencies, so we're not able to hear all of the radio cross traffic between the authorities on this one as we continue cruising northbound on Tahunga. Besides that maneuver to the wrong side of the road briefly, we haven't heard about any really crazy maneuvers
it's a red
or any
Toyota
high-speed
Prius.
driving. You can see we're
It's a
actually
red
maybe slightly
metallic.
above the speed limit right now. And it is a Toyota Prius that they are pursuing. So
They are pursuing
pretty much the
vehicle
quintessential
that
economy car, not a vehicle that is particularly capable of getting away. But I understand Chauncey has joined us at the anchor desk. So Chauncey, here we are northbound Tahunga as we're making our way back towards our through Sun Valley and not too far away from where this began.
Desmond, good evening to you and good evening to you folks joining us here on KCAL News tonight at 8 o'clock as we start with this police pursuit as police give chase to this Toyota Prius. Right now, we know they're going through North Hollywood at the moment, but we know this all started in San Fernando Valley. Des, do we know how long they have been chasing this car, and do we know what they're wanted for at this point yet?
We're still trying to confirm what they're wanted for. We just heard some speculation that it was a stolen vehicle, but they have not confirmed that to us here as we make
He's
a turn.
turning
Where we
into
go
an
here?
alleyway.
Oh boy,
He was driving
he's
at
going
about
into a
63
dead
miles an
end.
hour.
I wonder why
Now it's going to come to an
decided
end.
to make this turn. So we're near the big rock quarries, the big
Oh, he's
industrial
going to bust
area
through that
here,
gate.
and this
Let's
is
see,
a
let's
dead
see.
end. Oh no, are you kidding
Oh
me?
my God!
I
Oh!
can't believe it!
Come
He
on!
just went right through that gate and completely smashed up the vehicle, and I think he broke his windshield. Totally broke the windshield. This is absolutely insane. I've never seen a Prius do something like this. This vehicle is now extremely dangerous to drive. Unreal.
Excuse my language.
Northbound on San Fernando Road.
He's on San Fernando Road.
He just keeps going here. This is really dangerous. I mean, he could have little shards of glass flying in his face right now. That is one of the most desperate maneuvers I have ever seen, and by one of the least capable vehicles to do something like that.
And he's at about 82 miles an hour, way dangerous for high speed.
He's got stuff hanging off of the window here.
And stuff
as we're
are
getting a
hanging
look
off
at
the window.
suspect here. It's not sure if that's a guy or a girl.
If that's a
that
male
is
or a
driving
female.
this vehicle, but now we're up to about 80 miles an hour
And now they're
on
up to
San
80
Fernando
miles
Road.
an
So
hour.
all of a sudden, what I was saying was just kind of, frankly, a fairly docile pursuit. Just took an insanely wild turn through that fence there. Really messed up this vehicle, and I'd be really curious to see see
damage
what San
his or
Fernando
her
does in
windshield.
response to this, Chauncey.
Just
Right,
a
Des,
second
and
to
I
go.
thought that was the end of it. I thought this suspect would give
He's
up,
at about
and
75 miles an
also
hour
thought there
on
was nowhere
surface
to go
streets
past
and
that
surface
gate.
roads.
And if you
Wow,
notice
that's very dangerous. He's about to slow down.
slowed
Got
down a
about
little
40
bit,
miles an
thought
hour.
about it. You see there, and then bam,
Wow,
go
he
right,
just bust through that.
just goes right to that gate
Unbelievable,
right
huh?
there, and then
My
gets
goodness.
through the other side on this road, and
He
then
just
takes
disregarded
off. Even
stop
the
signs
windshield
moments
was
ago.
shattered. Des, I mean, have you seen
He's at about
anything like
70
that?
miles an hour. Meanwhile, that
I mean, we have seen some people go through fences before
they
and
have
stuff like
seen
that,
some
big
people
trucks or whatever
some
go through
fences
chain link
and
fences.
go in
But you're talking about
police
a little
helicopters
economy car that went through one
always
of those
in
big
tracking mode
kind
and
of
surveillance
beefy
mode.
barriers right there, and you see what that did to this car. You're right. I mean,
And
they
what
kind of
that-
thought about it,
What that
but
did to that car,
the
thought about
suspect
that.
making the decision that
Making a
they were not
decision.
interested in surrendering right there. I thought maybe they were going to, get out of the vehicle and try to run into that industrial area and try to hide or something like that. But that is just really, really insane stuff. And the thing is, I mean, this is literally a dangerous
Chances are
situation now
he
for
is
this driver
way
with
too
the
fast at this
windshield
point.
cracked the way it is. Going
They have to
to
slow
zoom in
him
on it
down
again.
at
So now
35 miles an
they're
hour
just
to do a
driving
50
stone
meter.
faced, like nothing is even happening here. Not sure if
Nothing is
that had
happening
any other
here.
effect on this Prius, but it definitely
What
destroyed the
effect on that
windshield.
Toyota Prius?
You've got all of
It's
the
a
wind that's going
2010
in
or
their face, little
2011
bits of glass that
car of
could,
the year,
potentially
or
fly out into their
2015
face
car
as
of the
well.
year.
But San Fernando PD, they're unfazed by what we just saw. They are still determined to
They're
get this
still
one here as we
determined
pass
to
by Whiteman Airport. So we're on San
stop
Fernando
that vehicle,
Road, and the
pull that-
speeds
pull
really
that
kicked up
vehicle
as well.
over.
Right after that happened, it was just like this suspect kicked it into overdrive now.
And he's
We've been
getting
up
onto
to as high as
overdrive right
80
now.
miles
I
an
don't
hour
know.
here as we're
He's
flying
at
along
about
San
70
Fernando
miles
Road.
an hour
And,
on
this is pretty
surface
dangerous.
roads.
We've got a lot of people that are coming out right now at the tail end of the day,
A lot
getting
of
ready
people
for
coming out
4th of
at the tail end
July
of the day during
festivities.
the 4th
I'm
of
just going to
July
say it because we're going to see it
on
a
that
lot later tonight. There
fireworks.
are going to be a lot of people that will be lighting off illegal fireworks tonight. Could be a
They
lot of
had
pedestrians out here. Now you've got
fireworks
someone
earlier
who
tonight.
is just taking
I had fun
a
on
real
fireworks
maniacal
earlier
turn
tonight.
as we head
Well,
back towards San Fernando, right near
he
where
heads
this
back
vehicle
towards San
was
Fernando
first lit
Road,
up. We'll be in San
near
Fernando here
Van Nuys
basically as soon
Boulevard
as we
in the
cross the
Pacoima area.
118 freeway,
Now
which we are about to
by
do.
the
As
time
we
he
come
gets
through
onto
Van
the
Nuys Boulevard and
215
now
freeway or
making a turn,
91
a
freeway or
westbound turn
57
towards the 5
freeway,
freeway.
he's going to
We're
take
now
the
in Pacoima,
freeway
Chauncey.
on ramp.
Gotcha.
Or there's some
And Des,
choices here.
this Toyota Prius, and you've got to look at the damage to that car.
Wow, the
and think,
damage.
This suspect more
Suspect
than likely is injured, even if it's just
injured, or the car is
from
injured,
the shattered
or
glass
a shattered glass is
in
injured.
their face or
After
their
he
body.
busts
So,
through that yellow gate just about 5 seconds ago. Again with that advertisement. We'll be back.
After having been fortunate enough to help over 8,000 customers getting their solar energy system, I have learned there are 3 major mistakes that people find out about.
their face or on their body. So
Yeah, I mean, I really am kind of at a loss for words for that maneuver that we just saw right there. I mean, my pilot was saying he's kind of surprised that the airbags didn't come out, but I guess it was just kind of a low speed thing. If had he not stopped first and gone through it, it might have deployed the airbags or done some more serious damage to this vehicle. And if this is a stolen vehicle, which again we have not been able to confirm yet, but I really feel for the person that could be watching this if they're watching their car. It totally messed up the door frame as well. You've got all kinds of stuff hanging off the side and part of the windshield.
That mirror, the driver's side mirror,
wow,
is about
still
to
just
hang
really,
off
really
and
crazy that we
fall
saw that as we
from
see
that
LAPD's helicopter
from
going
that
through the
Prius.
shot as we go underneath the 5 freeway,
Underneath the
coming
5
out of
freeway as we
Pacoima,
go
basically getting
underneath
into
that.
Arleta.
Coming
Are we going to get on the freeway? I believe we are.
Oh,
Now,
no,
it looked like they were going to make a turn there to
They were
get
gonna
on
make a turn
the
there.
southbound 5, but instead we continue to Van Nuys Boulevard. So now we are into Arleta. And
into Arleta
boy,
as well.
so yeah, I mean,
Van
San
Nuys
Fernando PD,
Boulevard,
again, not sure what
Red Avenue,
their protocols are going to be on this, but
slowing
they
down,
are
curfew
not showing
slowing
any
down.
interest in giving this
They're not
up.
showing any
Whereas,
interest
LAPD or
in
sheriffs
giving it
might have done something like that with the crazy driving that we've seen, just slowing down there a
Crazy
little bit through the
driving.
intersection just for
The
safety for everybody else.
the
But
safety for everybody
we'll see if
else.
we see a pit
They
maneuver
might-
or
they
spike
might do
strips
they
or
have to do
anything
the
like
pit
that.
maneuver
But
before
we haven't heard about any active
before he
tactics
ends up
to
killing
bring this
somebody.
pursuit to an
They
end.
can
But we
let's
have seen
do a
now
pit
this
maneuver, so
driver
they can
pick
stop
up
that
speed a
guy.
little bit here,
Or
going down Van Nuys
they can do
Boulevard.
a
We
pit
are now
maneuver on
in
that Prius
Arleta as
to spin
San
out until it
Fernando
comes to an end.
police
So they
continue
can
to
stop that
give
red
chase to
vehicle
this suspect.
before he ends up killing
Des,
somebody
it's the 4th of
or
July. Some
injuring
major
somebody, and that could
concerns
hurt
as to this
somebody else.
area as
Safety is
people here. It is
concerned.
8:07 as
Driver-
people head out to different fireworks
driver
celebrations
is
or
leaving
different
it out.
4th of
People
July
are
parties.
celebrating 4th of July
What
on the
traffic are we
fireworks.
looking at as we
Hope
take
they
a
have a
look
good
at what
time.
this? Oh, he's going on the
Now,
wrong
wrong side of the
there.
road.
But as we take a look at maneuvers like that.
They took take a look at that.
Yeah,
maneuver.
I mean, we are actually
He's
possibly going to
turning
start to
left
see
onto Woodman
some traffic
Avenue.
on the roadways. Maybe not like
Traffic on
rush
the
hour
roadways.
traffic or anything like that, but it
During
might
the
start to
rush
get
hour
crowded in some of
traffic
these
on
areas.
roadways.
As you said, this is the time of day now that we're at
The
dusk.
time of day.
Folks getting really excited for all of the fireworks shows going on out there, and there's a
Folks
lot
are
of them
getting
across
ready for
Southern
the
California,
fireworks
so you're going to
shows.
start to see people hitting the road
Fireworks shows.
to head to those if they
before the
haven't
fireworks.
already headed there as it is. So definitely, a lot of folks out here, and if they're not in cars, they're going to be out here walking around as well. We know that, and again, because we will almost guarantee that we will be showing it to you later on this evening, where there is going to be a lot of illegal fireworks going off. We're already hearing a bunch of them over by Van Nuys Airport. Folks just cannot wait to light their fireworks off. So, I would hate to see anybody trying to get in the middle of the street to do something like that, and then here comes this person, fly them down in a busted Prius that they might not even be able to see now that the windshield is completely busted. So, definitely a dangerous situation as we're now southbound on Woodman, headed through Panorama City, another busy area this evening.
Des, I know we picked this chase up right here at the top of the 8 o'clock newscast here on KCAL. Do we know how long police have been chasing this suspect?
I believe it maybe just 10 or so minutes from before we got over it. So it has not been that long of a pursuit to our knowledge. And again, it started with San Fernando PD. They're the ones in this, came down to Burbank, and then came back north. But now we're going back south again. So we're back in LAPD's jurisdiction. I mean, we were in Burbank's jurisdiction at one point as well. But San Fernando so far has been telling everyone we are taking this one. We're taking this pursuit. And, this is definitely unorthodox for them to even have to deal with. Like I said, I can't remember ever covering a pursuit involving San Fernando PD. There's been a couple that we've been dispatched to, but ended by the time we had got overhead. A very small department that typically does not need to worry about chasing vehicles. I actually lived in San Fernando myself for several years. Pretty nice little town, second smallest city in LA County, behind Hawaiian Gardens. Right-hand lane here at Roscoe, pretty busy intersection. As I wind out, you can see definitely some people out here tonight. But we've got the train of cars going through, the suspect, and 3 cruisers actively in pursuit. LAPD has their helicopter overhead as well. So, well, we'll see what we have to do. Now we're actually crossing Burbank's final approach again. Maybe a bit of a problem for us here in the next couple of minutes. We'll see, but we'll do the best to continue to bring you this shot, Chauncey.
Okay. All right. This, as we watch the suspect flee from police, this all started in San Fernando and through North Hollywood with San Fernando police chasing this suspect, this Toyota Prius. Like I said, going through North Hollywood, and then Oklahoma, also right now Arleta, and then they're in Panorama City. Actually, right now, we don't know what this suspect is wanted for. We don't know at this moment if this car is stolen. We're waiting to hear back from police, but some major concerns as people start to go out to fireworks celebrations and 4th of July celebrations. And this driver seems like that they are desperate to get away from police, going at some high rates of speed. And we want to re-rack this video to show you a very dramatic moment earlier when we thought this suspect was going to stop. It was over, but then look, they go right through that gate right there, even shattering the windshield of the car, this Toyota Prius. And then there you see it right back on the road, chasing out right back on the road, fleeing from police. And we are still waiting for police to see exactly why this person is fleeing, what this person is wanted for. But right now, we're back in Van Nuys. Is this right, Des?
Back in Van Nuys.
Yes, on Sherman Way here, and we had to come to a stop here. Actually, this start actually works pretty well for us because we had some big jetliner coming into Burbank Airport on their final approach. So we were holding for them, but now the suspect is kind of paralleling that jet and going westbound along Sherman Way here on the edge of North Hollywood and Van Nuys. We're going to catch back up to this vehicle right now as we go by some pretty tall apartment buildings. But you can still see the flashing lights right there. Sherman Way, I can tell you from personal experience, is almost like a miniature freeway, 3 lanes in each direction. And it is not at all uncommon to find people driving freeway speeds on the street. Just a pro tip there. If you're going to be a pedestrian on Sherman Way, you've got to look alive out there. Right now, only up to about 50 miles an hour. Well, pretty close maneuver though there into the middle lane. Yeah, and some wrong way driving. And again, so now, well, lucky for the suspect, the sun is basically set at this point, because if they would have been driving into the sun with that busted windshield, that would be super, super dangerous. But at least that's not going to be a factor for their visibility. Just really concerned about how much this guy or gal can see out the front windshield here as they run through red lights and evade the police. So here we are giving him now a better shot. So well into Van Nuys on Sherman Way, actually headed towards Van Nuys Airport now, but we've still got plenty of road to cover before we get that far.
And as also as this driver goes those high rates of speed, you got to think about the wind coming into this car as the windshield is shattered there. Also, do we know if it's just the driver? Do we know if it's just this one suspect that police are chasing, or if someone else is in the car?
We've only seen the one suspect. We've got a pretty decent look, and here we're getting a look at him right now. I think that is a guy who is driving the vehicle. Haven't heard about anyone else in the vehicle, but yeah, you're right. I mean, you get up to 50, 60, I think you're up to 80 miles an hour, and it's like you may as well be sticking your head out the window. I mean, that is pretty uncomfortable to have, air coming blasting in your face that high by virtue of that insane, evasionary tactic that we saw going through that fence. So crazy that we saw that. You just never know with these pursuits. Sometimes they just are very kind of docile is really the only way to put it, where they're just kind of tootling along at the speed limit, and then it changes at the push of a button, where they bust through a fence like that and start driving 80 miles an hour as we make the southbound turn now onto Sherman Way. So still in Van Nuys, but now we're going to head towards Sherman Oaks. And boy, San Fernando PD, they are on this one like a hawk. All 3 of them here. I would have to imagine that if they were going to do a pit maneuver, that they would have already tried it. We've had a couple of pretty decent opportunities. We're on another wide street though. Let's see if they do set up for something like that here. Sepulveda here just as wide as Sherman Way, 3 lanes with that far right lane there being a bike lane. There goes a cyclist right there. So if you were going to try to spin a vehicle around, this might be the kind of wide boulevard that you would want to do it on. But again, we haven't heard any talk of anything like that so far. San Fernando just seems content to chase this vehicle until the suspect, hopefully they run themselves into a dead end. But we thought they did that before, and look what happened. So we just have no idea what the suspect's capable of.
And Des, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of traffic here in this area on this road. When he went through those intersections, he ran into a little traffic, but it seems like the open street there.
Yeah, pretty open, pretty wide open. Like I said, you're definitely going to see folks out here, but I don't think we're going to see any heavy traffic, at least not until after the fireworks displays are over. And then, believe it or not, we will actually see probably about a half hour to 45 minutes of some pretty tough traffic across Southern California once everyone leaves those fireworks displays. But that's not going to be until probably 10:30 tonight that we'll start to see that. So these are going to be some overall pretty easy conditions for the suspect. There's not going to be any road work out here either. Caltrans takes the holidays off, so they wouldn't expect to see any closures like that. It's just a matter of where does the suspect think they're going, as they can add some red light tickets now to their traffic problems as they crosses the Orange Line busway. That's actually the only place in the city of Los Angeles left where you're going to find red light cameras anymore, or along the Orange Line busway. So they can expect to be getting some tickets in the mail in the next few weeks for that as well. Those are pretty expensive tickets. So as we cross the Orange Line busway, and we're again, on a very, very busy street, but you see just how wide open everything is here. So paralleling the 405, not too far away from the Sepulveda Flood Basin and the 101 freeway, the next major street will be Burbank Boulevard. We'll see what the suspect wants to do next.
Once again, this suspect leading police on a chase. This all started in San Fernando Valley. Police still giving chase to the suspect, now going westbound here on Burbank. Des, you talked about
the freeway. Now he's going to get onto that freeway.
And we talked
Northbound,
about how this
405 freeway.
I guess this guy's strategy,
Getting onto an
no
on-ramp,
rhyme or
he's
reason,
gonna merge onto
going
that
on
lane.
the side street one time, but we haven't seen him try to get away because on that side street, when he went past that gate, just plowed right through it. I thought he was going to use that opportunity to try to get out of the car and flee, but he hasn't, made any maneuvers like that going down side streets to make that move. But I'll tell you this, San Fernando PD right there on his track from the very beginning.
He's at about 66 miles an hour.
Yeah, they are still right there, and we did see after they busted through the gate, briefly speeds up to 80 miles an hour and then kind of backed off. I mean, we're up just slightly, right about the speed limit here, and again, getting on the freeway with no windshield or to block the air, it's just got to be difficult on this suspect right now. 65 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour, wide open freeways. Not too often we get to say that about the 405. So where are they headed? I mean, it's almost just like they're joyriding right now, not making any real serious effort to get away from the police. So they're just running out the clock, knowing that the jig is up at some point. They're just going to run this until this Prius is out of gas. I wish we knew how much this Prius had, because as we know, they are gas sippers, these old Priuses. If they are full of gas, they can go a very, very long time. But, we don't know just how much obviously is in the tank of this totally busted up car. Just so wild to see this. But northbound 405, so we came south from San Fernando down towards Burbank, then north, then south. Now we're going north again. We've been in the San Fernando Valley the entire time with San Fernando PD, which if people are, some people may be unfamiliar that there is even a city of San Fernando. It is its own independent city in the northeast corner of the valley. Pretty cool little area, and it is their small police department that is still in hot pursuit of this vehicle here as we make our way through Van Nuys and towards the 118 freeway.
And Des, at this point, is San Fernando PD, are they saying, hey, we've got this for right now, we don't need any help, we're going to stay on this and handle this ourselves?
Let the police do their job.
That is what we've been hearing. They, I guess, just wanted the helicopter from LAPD. Of course, they don't have their own helicopter, and I'm not sure if they contract with LA County Sheriff's deputies. I'm guessing not, because it's such a small city. Maybe they contract with LAPD since they're surrounded by the city of Los Angeles. But apparently there was some active chatter between LAPD and San Fernando PD if LAPD was going to take it over on the ground, and San Fernando said, no, we are taking this. So they do have LAPD's air support, but that is it. Otherwise, on the ground, this is all tiny San Fernando PD on this one, and we are trending back that way. Northbound on the 405. If we cross the 118, the next two off-ramps from there would get you towards the city of San Fernando. But this has just been a pretty aimless pursuit, just kind of looking like maybe one of those pursuits where the suspect's trying to run out the clock as far as they can, as long as it'll go. Maybe they have an idea of where they think that they can get out of the car and run, or what they can do, but or if they're thinking that San Fernando PD is just going to get tired of this and give it up. But that we don't have any reason to believe that after everything we've seen. They are still on this one. And this is a rare thing for them. Again, you know, it's such a small city. Extremely rare for them to get into pursuits. This could even very well be this officer's first pursuit that they've ever covered. So, you know, a lot of interesting things going on here.
Yeah, Des, and I got to tell you this, that the owner of this car is going to be so mad once they do see all the damage that was done by the suspect. We just confirmed that this is a stolen vehicle as police are in pursuit of this suspect, which started in San Fernando. As for San Fernando PD continues to chase this suspect. We are also still trying to work out, our assignment desk is trying to figure out the circumstances surrounding the theft of the car. But we have confirmed this is a stolen vehicle. This, as we approach North Hills, still north on 405.
Still on the northbound 405 freeway.
Yeah, that's very sad indeed. You know, and on a holiday, no less, you certainly hope that whoever that is, that they have good comprehensive insurance to get this vehicle replaced. You know, the Priuses were also very, very popular targets for catalytic converter theft as well. So it's, you know, just a lot of issues. But usually it's, you know, the Kias and the Hyundais that we talk about with the stolen vehicles. But with this, it is a Prius, and boy, a busted one up at that. And he is cutting over towards the right-hand shoulder. Very common tactic here by these suspects that think that they could pull a last-second lane change to try to evade the authorities, but it did not work. And we are headed eastbound 118, and so we are headed back towards San Fernando. So we've really looped all the way around now. We basically did a pretty big tour of the eastern half of the San Fernando Valley as we make the transition eastbound 118 back into Pacoima and towards the city of San Fernando, which doesn't actually touch any freeways, but it's pretty close. So I don't know. We'll just see what the suspect's next maneuver is going to be.
All right, Des, I was just about to ask you this guy just do a big circle here in the San Fernando Valley. And also, when it comes to San Fernando PD, in your experience, how long do they let these things play out, or how aggressive do they get, especially after that maneuver that we saw involving this suspect just plowing right through that gate?
Yeah.
Well, it's really hard to say because it is such a rarity. Like I said, I believe this is the very first San Fernando PD pursuit that I've ever covered. But speaking from experience with these smaller departments, they tend to be on the more aggressive side. They tend to be. I mean, everything's just kind of a generality when we're talking about that. But we all know over the last years what's happened with, you know, LAPD and LA County Sheriff's deputies, and how, you know, because of so many calculations and with so much litigation that can come from these pursuits when they end badly, that they let a lot of non-violent crime go. Now, a lot of these stolen vehicle pursuits, they end up just getting terminated altogether, and they just make the determination, we'll try to get the suspect at another time when it's less dangerous to the public. But that's typically not the case with CHP, and that's typically not the case with the smaller departments either. They operate with different protocols, and you know, it's hard to say, you know, why they do or don't do any particular thing, but just in my experience, from what we've seen, they tend to be on the more aggressive side, and the fact that you continue to see them sticking with that after what we've seen,
what
kind
they
of
see,
lends some
now
credence
he's
to that
picking up
theory.
speed at about 70, 80, 85 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour.
Thank you so much.
Now he's
this
gonna
suspect
pick up speed
still
now.
trying to get away from police. We are in our leader right now. This all started once again in San Fernando. Then went over to Burbank. This Toyota Prius, the driver, we
80 to 90 miles an hour.
confirmed that this is
Now
a
he's
stolen
about 95
car.
miles
This
an
is
hour.
a stolen Prius pursuit
92
here.
miles an hour.
Once again, San Fernando Valley, then over to Burbank, and then through North Hollywood. A lot of close calls there on the way, just like we saw just there.
So
And
that's
then in
there.
that same
That's a
area there in
stolen
North
Toyota
Hollywood,
Prius.
we saw this suspect just go right through this gate, shattering the windshield, and then getting right back on
Wow,
the
that
street,
one
on
car
the freeway,
had to
and
get
still
out of the way to avoid
trying
getting
to
hit by that
get away from
Prius.
police. Once again, we have confirmed this is a stolen vehicle. PD staying with this chase. We know LAPD's airship is above, but right now San Fernando PD is saying to back off. We're going to stay with this, and they are on this suspect's tracks as he's still here on the freeway,
115 miles an hour, 110 miles an hour.
90 miles per hour.
Now he's reaching at about 90 to 110 miles an hour, 120 miles an hour.
Yeah, I mean, we're up to this is really wild right now. I mean, and again, no windshield, or at least a huge hole in the windshield right there. And so now, over 100 miles an hour, this is really crazy stuff. Really dangerous. We saw him kind of swerve to avoid a couple of vehicles there. So now he's going way faster than all of the traffic. And so my pilot Dylan was noticing that it looked like the authorities were kind of losing the vehicle as we widen out. They're suddenly not behind him right now. They're about a mile behind, my pilot is saying, and that may, if they're trying to switch out units or what the deal is, or maybe they're trying to determine if they still want to stick with this or what. But and now they may be trying to catch back up, but they got stuck behind some traffic. And again, the authorities have to obviously balance everything with public safety in mind. These suspects clearly don't care about that and are going to do anything they can to get away. And so now we are starting to see the highest speeds that we've seen so far here as we blast southbound on the 5. So we were getting back towards San Fernando, but now we are getting pretty clearly into Burbank. See the spotlight there, though, from LAPD. They are still watching this one from the air, even though they're not too close at the moment from the ground.
Yeah, this is growing in concern, especially here at 8:30. We talked about this earlier, about the fireworks and the celebrations and the 4th of July celebrations really starting to get underway.
They're now turning onto a gas station.
Is that it going through the...
Yeah.
Now it's open during the 4th of July.
Wow, just way off the freeway and romping right through that gas station without even stopping. That was another pretty crazy maneuver right there. So now we are off just as we were about to get to Burbank, staying in LAPD's area here. So back in that industrial area, we're actually not too far away from where that suspect pulled that insane maneuver going through that locked gate and busting up the vehicle. Sunland Boulevard, Vineland Avenue, not too far away from that at all. Maybe a mile at most as the darkness begins to set in here on the San Fernando Valley. But the spotlight there from LAPD overhead, and let's just widen out and see. We're still not seeing the authorities right on the ground, but apparently they're not too far behind. So, you were going to think if the suspect wanted to make like a serious attempt to get away, they might have been the chance to do that. But now they're even obeying, and they're stopping behind the vehicle. They even got their light on. But here we go. San Fernando PD is back. They are back in this one as the suspect so kindly uses their turn signal here to make the turn onto Stratford Street. There are definitely some dead ends in this area. So is this aimless driving? Does the suspect have any kind of strategy at all? We will see here as they cross right below us here. So kind of zigging and zagging around the Sun Valley area, and now kind of doubling back towards the 5 freeway.
As San Fernando PD, they had to do some speedy driving to catch up to this guy. At one point, I saw they're clocking 113 miles per hour. Now it makes another circle, still trying to evade police. And Des, I was looking at the traffic there, and we talked about the celebrations and all of that going on. In your experience, is the light traffic, is that worse because the driver can go faster? Because we've seen him just on some of these roads just free.
On some of those roads.
Do you know what a hostile workplace looks like?
Be back with a second advertisement.
It can be verbal threats and intimidation, undeserved demotions, harassment.
I'm back now.
It seemed like
there's less traffic, they can go faster, but there's less people that they're endangering. And if the roads are more crowded, they can't drive as fast. But they pull crazy stuff like that right there, going in the center divider and to get around traffic. So I would say it's probably overall better that the roads are less crowded right now because a lot of these suspects, they don't care if the roads are crowded. They'll go to the wrong side of the road. They'll go on the center divider. They'll go on the right-hand shoulder to get around if need be. And, you know, we've seen that a couple of times as we cross over now to Sunland Boulevard. So we are on the east side of the 5 freeway now, and just dancing around the eastern San Fernando Valley, all different areas here as we continue to roll back northbound away from Burbank and in LAPD's jurisdiction, and over basically on the right-hand shoulder. No, actually, they are in the right-hand lane right there. You got the spotlight there from LAPD. San Fernando PD, here they come. They're going to be back in the shot here in just a moment. But they are still sticking with this one. And, you know, like I said, if they were going to try a pit maneuver or something like that, I feel like we would have seen it by now. There hasn't been any talk about spike strips or anything like that. But and because San Fernando is such a small department, there is a very high likelihood that the lead unit in this pursuit may not have a lot of experience with this kind of stuff because it is just not something that happens in that small jurisdiction very often. Getting a great look at LAPD's helicopter right there with their spotlight, and you see the air support there. And as we continue rolling now into the Shadow Hills area, kind of on the east side of the Hanson Dam, a lot of equestrian properties here, upscale, very nice neighborhood, kind of extends into the foothills.
And as I was just thinking about this when the suspect showed his great desperation to get away from police when he did go through that gate and shattered the front windshield of this Prius. It made me think about the glass that came into the car, but not only that, but possibly into his face and his eyes, which would, you know, make it hard for him to drive out there, especially,
just about that,
you know,
was a video earlier
as the
on
night falls.
when he busted through that yellow gate and shattered that
Totally.
windshield.
I mean, is it really worth all of this consternation, all of this discomfort? I mean, so many times there's something else going on with these suspects if they have a rap sheet, you know, or what. That's not something that we'll be privy to until, you know, long after this is over, if we're able to get any kind of follow-up on this. But it's just insane the type of risks that you constantly see these suspects taking over something like a stolen vehicle, which we know in LA County a lot of times is a misdemeanor, a lot of times is that might not even get you any jail time, but then you go and you pull something like this with where you can run from the cops and do all kinds of crazy stuff, and it's going to be a totally different story once this is all said and done. So you know, and there just really doesn't seem to be any idea where this suspect is going. We've covered so many areas now as we are. This is the first time that we're leaving the San Fernando Valley and heading kind of towards the Crescenta Valley and Tahunga, which will still be in the city of Los Angeles unless we continue into La Cañada, Flint Ridge, and beyond. But where are they headed now? As we get it right through that red light there, and the next freeway will be the 210. And are we going to take the 210 now? We're going to go underneath the 210, continuing on to Sunland. So we're basically in Sunland, actually more like the Tahunga. No, you know what? I would say we are. Just one second here, guys. We're having one issue up here. Chauncey, let me just toss it back to you real quick.
All right. If you're just joining us, we are watching police chase this stolen Prius. This chase started in San Fernando Police Department handling this chase. We know this Prius went through Burbank and then also went through several streets.
And now he's trying to bust through that gate.
Did he come to a stop, Des? I see him running there.
Yeah, came to a stop. Really glad this one is over. Here as the suspect is out and running, and they popped through a gate there, it looked like. And here comes San Fernando PD. We'll see if we're able to get to the other side of this gate here really quickly. But they out here and running, it looks like they do have them under the spotlight. There they are. There's the suspect right there. Out here running all over the place, but they got to another block community, and now, here comes somebody here. Oh, geez. They just wondered, what is going on? Yeah, here's the suspect here running in this nice little, looks like a little community here onto someone's patio. But they've got the spotlight here from LAPD. So they're going to try to guide San Fernando PD in here.
What
is this? Is this like an apartment complex or?
now near that pool.
Yeah. It looks like an apartment complex here.
Looks like an apartment
There's
complex.
kind of
Just
a
turned
little brushy
into-
area here. It might be kind of
Gate was
difficult
locked.
for
He
LAPD
bailed out
to
of
keep
the
tabs
car.
on them now. So they are trying to guide these officers in here right now off of Wingate and Sutherland Boulevard. So if you live in the area and you see the big spotlight, that is a suspect that is running around in this community and trying to evade. And now, this is
sooner or later
now,
when
it doesn't look like they have eyes on this suspect. They might have lost him here underneath those trees, and this is a big complex that was locked. The San Fernando PD couldn't get their vehicles in. We saw him out there running on foot. They were keeping up with him.
They saw him running out
He was
there on
hopping all
foot,
over the place.
all over the place. He was just running back.
There they are.
Towards God, I'm not going. Now he's running again.
Into the garage. Oh, he's going into a garage right there.
Going into a garage, a funny garage. Now he's gonna hide from those officers.
Yeah.
What is wrong with that suspect? Two suspects on the run. Maybe two suspects. I think there's an officer right there.
I don't think that officer knows that he just went into. Oh, well, he's trying to fight over there. No, he has no idea.
Officer.
That's the garage.
It looks like they may have some trouble communicating right here. I'm not sure if LAPD's helicopter is able to communicate with the radios with San Fernando PD.
LAPD's helicopter is overhead.
So
Still,
communication. He's got the spotlight right there. He's trying to shine
near
it on him.
under the garage
Keeps
door
walking the other way here.
into that apartment complex.
The garage that just happened to be open there.
Another officer coming in. They're trying to locate suspects where they run off, where they took them to.
He sees what's going on. I think he's going to be calling for backup. He's not going to want to go in there by himself. They have no idea if the suspect is armed and dangerous or what the deal is.
Right, but another part to this, Des, we don't know if who's inside this home. We don't know if a family was here inside the home at the time, but it just so happened
that they don't live there.
Crazy that this particular garage was just ajar enough where this suspect could go. Now I see the garage coming up.
Yep. And, these garages, too, look, there's like a little common area here. Oh, boy. And this person right here, we saw, no, that looks like the resident. But, now she's pointing him out. He may have gone in and then into, this yard right here, and maybe even hopped some fences. So she's trying to direct them around because obviously, the garage will have a door that goes into this little patio area to the rear of that property. So he may have come out the other end and then even hopped behind some fences there while we were focused on that garage. So, this is really a problem now for the authorities. Or, may have even gone through the house. We don't know. But, we only had a couple of units that were in pursuit, and that suspect unfortunately had some pretty fast legs and were able to, hop and leap around and get away from the police for about a minute. And even with the benefit from the spotlight, that suspect was, able. Oh, right there. They're going in. I think I just saw him.
Yep.
Yeah, right there.
In the corner. And Des, you've got to give it to LAPD with this spotlight tonight. This spotlight is really, really helping San Fernando PD as they try to find this guy. Because even at that one point, you saw one of the officers just walk right by that garage that the suspect had just gone into seconds before.
Just about 10 seconds ago.
Boy, this suspect is very sneaky. I gotta tell you, it makes me think it's not their first rodeo with this, but we saw him just kind of creep there from the garage. I'm guessing maybe that garage is full of a lot of stuff right there, and then it looked like he went right under the awning and probably into the house. So now we are watching to see if they're going to come out the front door. No, those are shadows right there. See if they're going to come out the front door or if they're going to try to hide in the house. But this is pretty scary. Now we basically have a home invasion going on. At the end of a stolen vehicle pursuit, as this person commandeers their home to try to get away. So there was a lot of public danger on the streets earlier, and now a totally different kind of dangerous situation in this community in Sutherland.
I was going to ask Des, this is very dangerous and so concerning because you don't, like I said, you don't know who's home, who's not. The garage that the suspect entered, someone ended up being inside of this home. The woman, we saw her come out and talk with that officer. So we don't know. But what we do know is that this guy is desperate to get away from police. Do we know how these apartments are kind of positioned? Because like he has to either be in one of the homes or like in one of those courtyards.
I take them into custody. What's wrong? They
He was in the little courtyard there that connects the garage with the home, and then we saw him kind of try to slip in, and it sure looked like he tried to go in the home. And you have to imagine that it was probably unlocked from the lady that came into the garage trying to see what all of this ruckus was about. So it could have been very easy entrance for him to get in, unless he's still hiding there and then hopped into another yard. That's why we're kind of keeping this wide shot, trying to look at both sides here. It's just become a very difficult situation to keep tabs on. And this is just, we say it all the time when you get in the heat of the moment and the suspect is out on foot. Especially if they're really quick like that suspect was, they only need a couple of seconds to get away from the authorities. And even if you have a helicopter overhead, you've got awnings, you've got trees, you've got bushes, you've got all these kind of hiding places, you've got covered patios, and it's possible that the suspect may have even slipped out and is underneath one of these awnings. So, and we only had 3 units that were involved in this. Here come a couple more officers that they're going to want to make sure that they have enough backup before they even go inside. But the longer they take, the longer that gives the suspect to potentially get out and get towards, a million other hiding places.
Exactly. And it seemed like it happened so fast. In the beginning, you said that this was a gated apartment complex, which that might have slowed down the officers to try to get in to get on its tracks. But is this apartment complex gated, Des? And also, did he just come off the road and get past the gate?
Well, I'd be curious if we're able to re-rack that video, but it looked like he just kind of slipped past one of the gates, or there might have been a walkway. The gate was for cars to get in, but the community itself may be more open, and he was able to kind of run around. This is a pretty big development. As I widen out, this is one of those larger kind of garden-type communities, I guess you could say. You see up in the upper right-hand corner, that's where the pursuit came to an end with the vehicle. But look at how much area we've covered on foot since then to get in here. And San Fernando still has their vehicles parked out there. Like maybe they haven't been able to get their cars in here. We've seen all these officers coming running into this area. They're going to have to take that suspect made entry yet into that garage. They're still hanging out here with the homeowner or the resident. Maybe she's giving them some more information about what to expect when they get inside. Where how many bedrooms is this? How many bathrooms? Is there an attic? Maybe something like that before they go and make entry. But it's just so dark out here now, and there's no officers that we've seen on the other side of this apartment complex. So the suspect still has the advantage at this particular time, I would say.
Yeah, and we want to show you the moment when this suspect got into this community. You see, he slips right there into that garage that was just slightly open, and then goes into that courtyard there. Police have no idea where he is. They have no idea that he's entered that garage. And you see LAPD airship above trying to shine the light on that garage to let San Fernando PD know and alert them that he's gone into that garage. But they still don't get with him. But I don't know where he went beyond that. It's interesting to see those courtyards. They connect, but it looks like, Des, they can easily jump from one courtyard to the other.
Yeah, and we know the suspect was very capable of that based on their agility back when they were out on foot. But San Fernando PD still not making entry on this situation. Not not sure if there's some kind of protocol issue here or what. I mean, they have 4 or 5 officers here right now, and we saw them out there speaking with the resident. The spotlight from LAPD continues to try to illuminate this otherwise awfully dark situation down here. But still no movement from the authorities on trying to move in and get this suspect. And, now it's been so long. If they do go in, is the suspect even still going to be there? That's the thing that I'm the most concerned about right now.
Where do you see any officers there on the ground inside of this gated apartment complex or gated community?
I'm sorry, one more time with that, Chauncey.
I know. I was asking, do you see any? It seems like all the officers have
they've been sitting here for like
on the scene.
that. Suspects were hiding hiding away from police. They're trying to look for the suspects. They've been looking for those suspects who was running. They slipped into the garage gate and inside to their private property. The suspect is the one. And for about 5 minutes or so, maybe. The pursuit has been going on for about half an hour or so. It's been going on for about 45 minutes now. You see the driver picking up speed. Not picking up speed. You see that night sun from the police helicopter. Overhead a news helicopter as well.
At the bottom, this is actually off of the 210 exit right here. So we're right off of the 210 freeway, right up
on
against
the freeway.
Police
Cruisers at this point. Momentarily, they're going to take them to take both of those suspects into custody. Or right now, they're going to take one suspect into custody.
But I just wonder if it's
he ends up going to jail on the 4th of July.
And some more flashlights over here as well.
And you see,
so they're out here.
Let's listen to that for a moment, for a couple of minutes.
Heard about them entering the home yet. So maybe they want to lock everything around the home down first before they make entry. That way, if they go in and they find him and he decides to run out of the home, they're going to have other officers waiting there to slap him in handcuffs. So that may be what they're doing right now, but they still have not made entry into the garage, which leads to the unit where we last saw the suspect at.
Right. Des, what is to the left of this apartment building, or this community, if you will? Because I don't see any areas where he could have gotten away, or no, there's a street right there. So he very well could have gotten over that courtyard fence and then took a run for it and then went down this street.
It's possible. I mean, I'm not sure how high the wall is right there. I believe that's going to be like a public storage facility. Yep, that's exactly what that is. It is pretty well lit, but there is quite a bit of brush between the apartment complex and where that is. So, kind of hard to say, but it's still. There's a couple more officers here. They're probably scouring all around this kind of thick, a little bit of a wooded area right here on the perimeter of this apartment or condo complex. So probably checking all of that first before they decide to go in the house. And then I'm not sure if it's a matter of if they need the homeowner's permission to go in there or what the deal is, but whatever their protocol is, it looks like they're going through it right now before they decide to go any farther. But we're listening to LAPD's helicopter up here right now, and just based on the movements of the spotlight, the suspect is not yet in custody. I think I just saw a couple officers here at the front of the house. So now they're right there in the front. That's the first that we've seen them, right in front of the unit there where the suspect was. So they've got the home pinned down now on both sides, and maybe we will see some entry here soon.
Did you see the lady come out, the homeowner possibly come out and talk with those officers?
Came out and
she
spoke
was
with the police.
pointing in a direction that he might have gone in. This is after he entered the home and may have gotten into that courtyard and then jumped the fence. And we see the homeowner, a lady, come out and talk to officers and sort of directing, like, oh, he went that way, he showing that right there. There's a video.
It looked like it, yeah. Yep, she is down there underneath the spotlight with them. She's still with them. And it definitely looked like that's what we saw.
There you see that
She
suspect.
12 to 15 minutes ago.
I don't know if you can see
Did
that.
you see him right in there?
Yeah, right.
Right there.
This is earlier, the earlier video
They've been
that
scouring around now for
this is
nearly
when he
half
got
an
inside
hour.
the home and he was sort of in that courtyard area, and it looked like when he disappeared into I don't know if that was another unit or another courtyard or another part of this particular house
That
where he
was a
entered the
video from
garage.
earlier when the driver busted through that yellow
Yeah,
gate.
it looked like it was the same courtyard that was connected from the garage that he entered right here. Remember these mailboxes right here, and then it was in this courtyard, and then we saw him just kind of slip through the patio, and it looked like he was going into the sliding door. That's certainly what it looked like, but the authorities are still on both sides here now, the front and the rear of that unit. They have not gone in yet, so it's still unclear what the holdup is on this one. But sometimes they take a long time to do this. Want to make sure that they have all their ducks in a row, or they may be waiting for additional backup, or they may be waiting for some ballistic shields or helmets or some equipment like that. These officers are not equipped with that stuff. It appears, again, we're talking about a very small department here, San Fernando PD. Most likely the second smallest police force in Los Angeles County. Led them here into the Sunland area off of Sunland Boulevard in the 210. Here's some more officers down there, getting a pretty good look there thanks to LAPD Spotlight. But are they going to be going in the home? It looks like I see a little bit of talk on their shoulder mounted radios there. Definitely a lot of communication going on, but it's just so crazy what the suspect has done to
communication going on
so far. Everything
now.
that we've
Let's
seen,
listen now.
and at least at the moment, they're still not in custody. They still have the possibility of getting away, especially now that it is so dark. I mean, we saw him go into the home, but there's the patio right next door is covered. There's a lot of darkness. It's not even for sure that suspect is still inside that person's home.
Right, but it seems like they have a perimeter. You have officers on seemingly both sides of the home, the garage, and then the other side, which may be the entrance of the home. But I want to show that video one more time to viewers once. Actually, let's start right here. Showing his great desperation here as he goes through the gates right there, just busting open those gates and shattering the windshield, getting back on the highway, going up speeds up to 112 miles per hour at one point, still staying in the San Fernando Valley, kind of making a circle and going on the wrong side of the roads at one point, still trying to get away from police. Once again, this is a Toyota Prius that has been stolen, according to police. You see there, he jumps out, leaves the car, and jumps over this fence, which is a gated apartment community. You see him running there, right there on that sidewalk, still trying to get away from police. Police are not inside of this apartment complex yet, so you see the suspect there still running, trying to find a place to hide. Finds just a little bit of room right there to crawl under that garage and go right inside that home. The homeowner opens the garage and comes out and starts to talk with this officer. But this is what I want to show you. Zoom in when we see him in the courtyard right here. Look, just right there in the blue. Then he just disappears, and we don't know where that suspect goes from there. Des.
We'll be back in a moment.
Know where that suspect goes from there. Des.
Yep, that's right. And just showing you here, I was thinking if our map tracker would give us a better locator than just Sunland. I'll widen out and show you the area that we're talking about off of Sunland Boulevard. There's LAPD's helicopters, Sunland and Whitney. 28, the 210 freeway is what you see on the bottom there of the screen. So we were just trying to ask the helicopter overhead, like, hey, are you guys, are they going to make entry soon? And they're not sure. It sounds like there are some communication issues here between LAPD's helicopter and San Fernando PD's ground units right there. But most likely their radios don't talk to each other because those, we believe those are encrypted radios like so many of the smaller communities are in LA, Orange County, and the Inland Empire. So the helicopter couldn't even tell us if they were getting ready to go in or what the delay is on all of this. But my guess, this could very well end up turning into a SWAT situation. Would not be surprising at all where, they may be calling LA County Sheriff's deputies. They would probably be the ones that would come in. Or maybe LAPD with their SWAT team. We'll see. It's just not known at this point if that's what they're planning on doing. I mean, they're right here at the front door of the home. I'm sure they're calling out to the suspect. That's going to be the first thing that they do. They're going to do lots of call outs. They'll probably use a loudspeaker on both the back driveway and at the front door to get through to the suspect to let him know, look, you're cornered, you're surrounded, it's over, come out now. Before we, force our way in. That's probably what's happening right now. And then are they going to, if the suspect refuses to come out and surrender, then there is the, likelihood that they will call either LAPD, since this is in LA, or they'll call sheriff's deputies to come in with their Bearcats and their big armor. This could turn into an hours-long situation. So, unknown, but, they haven't shown any interest in going inside yet. I don't think, I'm getting the impression that that's not going to be changing anytime soon. So this could be trending towards a long, drawn-out conclusion here.
Ran the gate. They're going to try to ram the gate. They got through it. I would have never guessed a Prius could do that.
But earlier today, a driver in a stolen Prius pressed his luck in a pursuit through the San Fernando Valley. It happened again tonight after smashing through a chained gate. The front windshield was smashed in severely. The driver later foot bailed near a gated neighborhood. He was found and taken into custody. Earlier today, LAPD was chasing the same vehicle near